guys, David 1, 2, and 2, and it's deck profile day! If you guys have been spending any time over on Cimoo's channel, you probably saw my match against MacLeod. And a couple of you down in the comments below on Cimoo's video said that you actually want to see the deck profile of the deck I was using, Tiny Turtle Turbo. So I figured I would throw a quick video together for you guys so that you guys can check it out and I can explain a couple things, you can kind of understand what's going on. Anyway, let's get started! Alright guys, here is the deck that I used against MacLeod in Cimoo's Yugioh tournament, Tiny Turtle Turbo! It is a 60 card deck, as you notice, which means there's a lot to go over, so instead of losing you all in like about 2 minutes, I'm going to have to try to give you a brief introduction to everything here and just kind of go over the things that you probably don't really know. As you can see, it's a 60 card deck, which means the main focus of this deck is that Grass Looks Greener, the main spell card of the deck. But for a quick refresher, just to kind of let it sink in, what this card does is let you mill cards off the top of your deck until your deck has the same number of cards in it as your opponent's deck, which means as long as you have more cards in your deck, this card is live, which is why you run 60 cards, because if you ever go up against somebody with a 40 card deck, you immediately mill 20 cards to the grave, which gives you immense graveyard setup. And because this is an AquaActress deck first and foremost, at least it was supposed to be, the AquaActresses are our first major engine. AquaActress Arowana is their boss monster. This lets you search an AquaActress monster, and because she's an Aqua, she means she can be special summoned by several of the other cards in the deck, so she tends to be pretty easy to power out, but the major focus of the deck is your Tetsuo Newmans. You're going to find that a lot of times you have to normal summon her. Your Guppy does facilitate summoning your Arowana as well, because Guppy lets you special summon one AquaActress from your hand, and it's interesting to note that none of the AquaActresses are actually hard once per turns, so you can like Guppy into an Arowana if you want. It's actually really kind of fun, it lets you facilitate some rank 2 options. Your AquaActress Tetra is probably the main engine of the engine, though, because what she lets you do is search your aquarium cards, which are really what we care about, because they're really the reason why they're even in the deck, as opposed to just more frogs or something. The aquarium cards really help you run interference, because this is, at its core, a stun deck. Aquarium Stage makes all your water monsters immune to battle, which is just fantastic, as well as making your AquaActresses immune to monster effects, but most of the time it's that battle immunity that you're really harping on. You do have to watch out for water deck mirror matches like Mermails and Necros and things, and Gishkis even, because water monsters can still kill other water monsters, so that's a little annoying, but most of the time you don't have to worry about that, so it's kind of irrelevant. Aquarium Set gives all water monsters you control 300 attack, and if they're AquaActress monsters, they get an extra 300 attack, which so this is a fun little attack boost to kind of make some of the other cards in the deck just a little bit stronger, which is just enough to make them hard to deal with. Like for instance, you're Totally Awesome. At 22, he's not too threatening, but at like 25, he starts to become a major problem. And Aquarium Lighting is the only one that doesn't have any utility outside of the AquaActress theme. What this thing does is during damage calc they get twice their attack, so you can compound a lot of your attack boosts you get from this and from your Wetlands spell in here, so you can do some serious damage with like a 3000 attack power AquaActress Tetra, which is just absolutely hysterical. The other major engine is your Frog engine. This lets you get stuff to the graveyard with your Swap Frog. You got your Flip Flop Frog at 2, your Ronin Toadin at 2, and Dupe Frog at 2. Swap Frog is the major point. He can special summon himself by discarding a water, or just when he's normal summoned. Whenever he hits the field, he mills a level 1 or 2 Aqua monster out of your deck, which lets you power out your Tetsuo Newman, which is probably the major point of the deck. This is the Tiny Turtle in Tiny Turtle Turbo. Basically, he says neither player can special summon monsters with 1800 or more attack, and this is the card that pretty much single-handedly beat MacLeod, because he was playing, Luna Lights, which is a fusion deck, and this didn't allow him to fusion summon, so the major point of his deck was completely shut out. And at 1800 defense, he's pretty beefy, and when you make him immune to battle or you give him an attack boost, he's even worse to deal with. Pretty much the rest of the deck is just to facilitate that strategy. You got interesting combos with like your Galaxy Cyclone when this thing goes to the graveyard due to the effect of, let's say, your lawn mowing next door. Next turn, you can actually banish this thing from your graveyard to target one face-up spell or trap on the field and destroy it, which is a great combo with one of your aquarium cards, because when these things are destroyed, they special summon an Aqua from your grave to the field, which is just really cool, meaning if you have like an Aquarium Lighting that doesn't actually seem to do anything, and you happen to mill this thing last turn with your grass card, you can just pop it and then you can summon this thing to the field. It's just a really fun little awesome little combo. You got your Surface to get stuff back, you got your Salvage to get stuff back, where is it? Salvage, and then you got your left arm offerings to get to your Grass, because Grass is probably the most important part of the deck. We got Pot of Desires for draw power as long as Moray of Greed, and that's pretty much it. A couple of one-off techs like your Regeki and your 1-for-1 and your Maxi kind of round it out and kind of just add a little consistency. The extra deck pretty much is irrelevant because the only card you're ever going to be summoning is your Totally Awesome because he's just fantastic. The cool thing about running a frog deck is that you can actually use Totally Awesome's detach effect, not just his negation effect, which lets him during either player's standby phase summon a frog, which means on your turn you can summon like your swap frog in order to mill more crap to kind of set up some plays, or on your opponent's turn you can summon your dupe frog in order to run some interference, which is cool because he's got a little bit bigger butt than your Tetsuo Rot Newman, and if you don't have an aquarium card on board, that means your opponent has to attack the dupe frog first, and if they have like no special summons during their main phase 1, that means they're gonna have a really hard time playing 2 monsters in order to kill this, then kill this. Not to mention, if you have Totally Awesome sitting next to Tetsuo Rot Newman, you have your opponent can't special summon anything, and if they try to out it with a spell or trap or a monster effect, you can just negate it and then take that thing. It's it's a pretty dirty combo. The other things you might use are Cat Shark, because once you have Tetsuo Rot Newman on board, you can't play another Toad, and you don't really want to ever like exceed with like, I don't know, Dull Hand to get rid of your Tetsuo Rot Newman. So if you ever get 2 level 2s on board, which you will absolutely do once you have Toad on board, Cat Shark is another great option because he lets you target your Tetsuo, or what, he lets you target Toad and double Toad's attack. It's just fantastic, and you know, it's a quick effect, so you can use it on your opponent's turn. It's a great little option, and when you got Aquarium Stage on board, he's immune to battle, so you don't have to worry about him. It's a fun, nifty little combo. And then there is a couple of synchros in here, all the water synchros, because we do have our Great Old Slime Jr. in the deck, who is a tuner. I've never synchro summoned with the deck, but you can conceivably do it. Great Old is actually in here because he can summon a copy of himself when he's normal summoned, so he's a really nifty little rank 2 engine. He's a great just to keep it in the back as like a recovery move, because you know you have 1 card in hand. It's this stupid thing. It's your turn. He's a great top deck because if you have any graveyard set up, so he's pretty much the niftiest little card in the deck, and he's a little secret tech. As far as a side deck is concerned, you could pretty much play anything you want. Interesting things are like this Lost Wind, because it's a banish from your graveyard in order to use it, so it means it combos with your back grassland screener. I think it's a Phoenix Chain, isn't it? Also, you don't run any lights or dark, so you got the mirrors, and the cool thing in here is your Gamecill, the Sea Turtle Kaiju. Now, he is an Aqua, which means if you tribute away one of your opponent's monsters that you absolutely needed to Kaiju away, and then you kill this thing, you can summon it back to your side of the field with like your Aquarium Stage in your set when they die, so he does have some synergy with the deck. I would love to actually like bring back my Kaiju AquaActress deck, because that was really cool. You'd have Gamecill with Stage on board, and you can negate everything. That was fun. But anyway, alright. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the deck profile. I normally tend to include replays in these things, but I figured, you know what, I'm going to just kind of shoot you guys over to Cimoo's channel if you're seeing my video first, so that you can get some traffic as well, because he's nice enough to let me play, as well as you can see me misplay, and that's always funny. But anyway guys, let me know in the comments below what you guys think of the deck, and if you have any suggestions for it, because it's frankly still a little bit in testing. However, it works well enough in order to actually win a couple duels, so I figured I would finally use it. So leave those comments, and remember guys, if you don't troll the meta, who will? I will see you guys next time. Alright, I really hope you guys like the deck profile. Normally when I do my deck what are you doing? Shush, give me like 2... Alright. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the deck profile. This is gonna... Damn it. Alright, whatever, fuck it.